James, we're here in Winchester. You've been in the local area a few months now. Does it feel like home?
Yeah, it's getting like that now. Yeah, I think I've been here now for about 6 or 7 months in my house, and obviously getting to know the area and stuff, and I really like it around here. So yeah, it's getting there. It's not quite Wakefield where obviously I've grown up, but no, I do really like it down there.
I'm going to take you back to the very start of your career. You said it yourself, you're a Yorkshire lad. You came through at Barnsley, made your debut at 16. You were the second youngest player that's ever played for the club. I mean, that must have been a bit of a whirlwind to come into that.
Yeah, I think it was crazy really. I think I joined the academy quite late. I think I was 11 or 12 years old. It was something that well, I didn't know until I was old, but my mum and dad wanted to keep me away from it a little bit and just let me enjoy my football, playing with my friends and stuff. So yeah, eventually I got into it at Barnes, and I feel like things just moved really quickly. I think within a year of me being there, I was playing up with two age groups above and stuff, and then being involved with the 18s when I was 14. And I think just the exposure that they gave me and the coaching there was top class. And I think it's just someone that's got a special place in my heart. And I think, yeah, obviously it was crazy. I think I remember making my debut and then going into school. I think it must have been on the Monday to collect my GCSE results and stuff, and it was just it was crazy. I hadn't even been to prom yet and things like that, so it was nice.
So you played, I think, more than 50 games as a teenager, and then you're on the move for the first time. Aston Villa come in for you, and from Villa you went on loan to Ipswich, and then on loan to Luton, which obviously became a permanent move.
Yeah.
And that was your first time working under Nathan Jones. He didn't sign you there, but he came in part way through. What was your first impressions of him?
It's quite funny actually, because I remember when we first went back in from COVID, we were all sat outside on the AstroTurf, and then we had a Zoom meeting where we all got told that obviously Nathan was coming back, and obviously quite a lot of the lads there had worked with him before, and we were sitting with him, and the lad said to me, he was like, "Breezy, I'll be honest, you're not gonna like him." And I was like, why? I was like, "Oh, you're so chilled out, he's he'll be bang on you." And I was like, "Oh well, we'll see what happens." And then obviously it ended up being a nice match. Was
he as demanding as you were told?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I think the first few months working under him was tough. He didn't actually play me straight away when he came back through COVID. He was playing a lot of the lads that he knew in the system that was working for him. So obviously I had to work hard to get into the team, but once I did for him, and he knew that, and he trusted me and he knew what I could do, obviously from there on we had a really good relationship, and obviously it worked out well.
Then Nathan leaves pretty much this time last year, November last year, to join Saints. Then January comes around and the opportunity comes. You've got the chance to play in the Premier League, but you've also got the potential of getting to the Premier League with the team that you've spent 4 years with. So how tough or easy was that decision?
It was a strange time really, because I felt like, speaking to Nathan at the time, he was so confident in the squad that we had and what he could do to turn things around, and just the opportunity to play Premier League football was something that was so tough to turn down, because in football it's a short career, you never know, it can change so quick that you never know if that chance is going to come again. And especially it being a team like Southampton that have been in the Premier League for so long and had so much quality, and being around that, I thought, yeah, it's something that I've got to do.
You obviously knew at the time the position the club was in, it was bottom of the Premier League, so what was your first impression of the environment that you walked into?
I knew a couple of lads because I knew Armour from playing with him before, and so obviously I was going in and chatting to him and seeing what was going on. Obviously knowing the staff as well from my previous club helped. But I think it was just a bit of a whirlwind really, because I came straight in. We had Newcastle in the cup, so I was straight into that team. I'd only trained once or twice, so it was just really trying to hit the ground running and get into it, and obviously trying to look after yourself, but trying to get into the team as well. And I think over the next few months, when obviously the gaffer had gone and I was out of the team, that was really when it got quite tough really.
Because obviously you've made that big decision that we've talked about, left behind the club that you were loving your time with. So when the manager that signs you leaves and that whole dynamic changes, how did that make you feel?
Obviously I'd played a few games under the gaffer, and then Ruben took over, and I think it was a case of, right, well, we'll just see where we're at with it, and I think it quickly became apparent to me that I wasn't going to be in his plans, and I think that's when you never regret anything, because I didn't. I'd come to play in the Premier League, and that's what I'd done. But it was a hard time. I wasn't really involved that much in training. I wasn't in the games, training by myself. A lot of the times when on Saturday mornings, when obviously the lads had games, and I was in, and it was tough, especially when obviously you've come down to a new place. You was in the hotel for a long time, and you're not even really settled in anywhere. And obviously everything just gets put up in the air, and it's just tough, really, isn't it? It's hard. It was hard.
The end of the season, not the outcome any of us wanted. Then you're sat at home and Luton win the playoff final. Were you watching?
Yeah, I went to Wembley and watched it. I think we had Liverpool the next day, and I actually was playing in that. But it was something that I just didn't want to miss. I think I've made friends there for life, and people that I still speak to now, and I was so close with all that group, and even the staff that came in once Nathan had gone, that I'd worked with for a few months. And I think it just felt right that I had to go and watch, and it was a strange day, really, because obviously I was so happy for all of them, and I was buzzing for him to go, because it was something that we'd all been working for a few years. And I remember as soon as when they missed a penalty, I just turned around, and when emotion hits you, I was crying. And I wasn't crying, I wasn't sad, it was just happiness, but it was just such a weird feeling knowing what they'd gone on to do.
The summer comes round. How quickly did you get the impression that the new gaffer was happy with you?
Obviously with the players that we've got here, especially in the full-back positions, when Tino was still here and Kyle, and obviously Ryan coming in, there's 3 or 4 really good full-backs at the club already, so it wasn't something where I knew that I was just going to walk into the team. Like, it was a situation of finding out where I was in the pecking order, really. And I think speaking to him at the start, I think he was really happy with me. And then later on we had a discussion where it was like, right, you might become more of a backup, and then you'll be pushing to get into the team. So that was when the conversations were hard. It's like, right, well, do I want to stay here and be a backup, or go out and play?
But you've worked and worked and worked. In the last few weeks, you've found yourself back in the side. That must give you enormous satisfaction with everything that you've been through.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's been so much easier this year. I think the club's so much closer together. The change room's class this year. Like, it's just, the vibe's just completely different. So it was a situation where, yeah, I was working for myself, but obviously I was working for the team as well, because I wanted to be ready when my chance came. Did I think it was going to be at left back? Probably not, but it was just one of those things. I played there before, and I thought, you know what, like, just go out there, do your job, and just see where it can take you, because I think Ryan had been doing well up to that point, and he'd obviously been suspended, so I just had to try and take my chance with both hands. And
for you personally, you missed out on your promotion to the Premier League last season. How much does that drive you to make it happen this year?
It's something that you've just been striving towards for ages. I think for the last 3-4 years, that's what I've been trying to do. And now obviously I'm in a different place at Southampton, but I think it's something that everyone's united in, and we want to do it. I'd rather do it automatically and not have to go through the playoffs. I think that would be a nicer way of doing it, but whichever way it comes, I think if we can do it, that day is going to be very special for me.